I'm Sraddha Meta with the Environmental Justice Program at the Department of the Environment. And as Annie mentioned, we're here today to talk about safer and more effective pest control. So our Environmental Justice Program has been focusing on the southeastern neighborhoods in San Francisco for the last 12 years because we recognize that those neighborhoods have been burdened by industrial facilities, diesel trucks, the freeways, contaminated, abandoned sites, and until recent years, 2 power plants that have finally been shut down that were in close proximity to each other. So along with those issues, there have also been health disparities in those neighborhoods. We've seen higher rates of some of the chronic diseases in comparison to other neighborhoods in San Francisco. And so here's a map of San Francisco, which shows asthma rates in the city. And the darker sections on the map show the higher rates of asthma. So as you can see, like the Bayview Hunters Point neighborhood here has higher rates in comparison to most other neighborhoods in San Francisco, and also in comparison to other places in the country. So that's why one of the things that our EJ program has been focusing on is outdoor air quality. We've done a lot of work around diesel trucks and with biodiesel, and now we're also, and getting the 2 power plants shut down, but now we're placing more emphasis on indoor air quality because we recognize that people spend most of their time indoors. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the relationship between indoor air quality and asthma. So in 2008 and 2009, we did a survey right here at Alice Griffith. We had a group of residents of Alice Griffith do door-to-door outreach for us, and they went home by home and talked to the residents about what types of conditions existed in their homes and whether the residents had asthma. And we went to 179 homes, and that covers more than 500 residents, and we found out that 25% of them had asthma. And of those 25%, almost half of them were children. 38% of the 179 homes had visible mold, issues of mold, and mold is an indoor air quality issue that's an asthma trigger. We found out that 44% of the homes had roaches, and 18% had rodents. Residents were using toxic products. We found this out in our surveys, but they were using toxic products that can further trigger asthma. For example, for mold, people were using bleach, which is also an asthma trigger. For roaches, the standard spray can of Raid is an asthma trigger. And then same thing for rodents, toxic pesticide products to deal with those issues. So the roach feces and the body parts are asthma triggers. They get into the air and they're asthma triggers. But also there have been studies that show that constant exposure to cockroaches can cause early onset of asthma in children. So kids can get asthma if they didn't have it before just by being exposed to cockroaches over a long period of time. So that was definitely a concern for us. And then rodent droppings are also an asthma trigger. So not only are the pests asthma triggers, but the pesticides that are used to deal with the pests are asthma triggers. And so we decided that we wanted to focus our efforts on what we call integrated pest management, a program, a way to effectively and safely deal with pests without using sprays, things that get in the air that can get into your lungs and can trigger asthma. And that's what Luis is here to talk to you about today.